Okay, it is that time most of you are been waiting for. Our featured poet is Grace Dager. Grace is, depending who you talk to, a poet and an artist, or an artist and a poet, or something so fused you cannot tell the two apart. She carries on the Dada movement to the modern day. She has mastered the art of chopping words out and pasting them into a poetic way. Please welcome Grace Dager, who will have books for sale after she finishes reading. I'm also going around with the bag of giving. Any money that goes in here will go to maintaining the health of Birdie. If you've talked to Grace, you know who Birdie is.
Thank you for that incredible introduction. Birdie Bardot appreciates it. Well, I have to say, it took a long time to get this chapbook made. 40 years and moving to Everett to find Dwayne, who is, again, a painter and a poet, and understood the impact that the visuals have on the poetry. I mean, the way it all works together. And I highly recommend him. He is worth every penny if you want to get a chapbook made. Really.
How much is it?
Yeah, you know, that's a question to take to Dwayne, but...
Yours.
Oh, my book! Oh, it is really cheap. It's only $10. Yes, and Birdie will appreciate it. All right. Oh, so those, most of you know, but those who don't, I do cut-up, as Dwayne said, cut-up poetry. And I have the original one here, so you can kind of see that this one is true to form. I'm very pleased with, Dwayne put a lot of work into this as well. So, all right, here goes. Oh, and this is sort of, it's like one poem, well, there are different poems within it, but it's really one poem. And so hold your applause off until the end. Thank you. Yes, it's a book, a parable about a society's loss of vision. There to be a comparison of the risk and reward, invisible machine, the clear advantages of capturing rare images, often working opportunity to catch their gossip. A living tribute from the flute across a field of wildflowers, deep into a mountainous landscape. Bubbles light above a nearby grocery store, many faces of diversity and a sense of drama. Legacy managing left field, questions and temperature checks, cling, clung, where anything is possible. What's real, more or less clung to, but one is still buzzing. Coming from ache, plots, plans, and schemes of a giant mechanical mouse. You'll find it here. And the quiet morning, no gimmicks, brush big success. But lawn still took a beating, zagging when the world zigs. I thought I had it. Aging miracle, Wallaby Ranch. But I just can't find it. No problem. The reverse feels comfortable away from other electrical equipment. Behind the scenes, tumbleweed, begin your road trip. Sleep across badlands charged with murder. Stops, starts, saving people. Every moment feels big. This should somehow be recognized. They create music and lyrics that have a great story. Do you think family who fray nerves, wristbands, main power? Your best cheers to the people. Get back to work. See if you can find the key combining our best. Now open a new door. Get out of hand. Jane, together with John, quite like this, diversion. Life adventures deserve crystal clear water, each carrying its own idea. A mutually rewarding education, recalls John. A number of independent clauses made by the many Emilys breaks. Physics. It helps to have someone riding shotgun. This rather stilted construction, tissue-like. I'll bet it's hard to crack. He is planning nearly 300 years ago. Never before anything reached his Staines electric hits. It's more like the comfort of passing death. She liked him, upon a fence and beyond awe. You are able to project feelings of terror and fear upon others by looking into their eyes. I heard God in an age of terror, in a grain of sound. Are we a nation of takers? Angel energized, bare erotica factor, only in people we're talking about. Love is in the details. Sometimes they just make blends. Hear from our ears. Your child from violence, hip in tough times, love to be in the outdoors, stormy flown over cranky urban edge. Your guide to a woman, blow me, and women evolved with fresh meat, made light. My kids get Arctic sunrise, or ocean. The deep's linked to fear, little fish, even bigger pond, space, beyond the observatory. He crawled and crawled, louder and louder, and was stooping northwest. We will report bias-related crime to the police to make sense of history, and cuddled up wild. The tense of a verb refers to the time. Dear, dear, what a queer little rock. That's what you think, said the lion. I drowned everybody I find using my weeping pool. My father waved goodbye, turns to confront our dragons. Intense danger is striking in precisely the opposite direction. Although he barely escaped with a spiritual rhythm's real-time control, sent up the river to cruise, the dreaming room. If it moves, grab it, surprise them, and receive money brazenly. Have the delay, beyond our control. We love, now. One, a deep, tender feeling of affection. How he'd be even more suspicious, but it should still be a fairly good year. Try challenging a vibrant jolt killed in demand, working to keep your spills and other suffering worth pondering when you twist your ankle or bend it too far. If a person does not develop a plan when they refuse to die, a sprain may occur or a fall. The juggling clown transition to the edge of extinction, the endangered species charged, and he would have threats, slurs, and epithets coping with the loss of a child. See inside, uncut cacophony in the rising, the barriers that hold you back, run away, yell, scream, or neck breakers, rip it up. The hair twists long, slim fingers, extending your insight into essential oops. Due to unavoidable circumstances, thou shalt open with a bang. Tired of living in one hand, and over there in the other, religion. Find the courage by the gene. Don't shed it. I lied his way through transactions to part with the extra mile. Shock drive to change their ways. And so she leaves a boatyard where giant twisted tails get straightened out, fully furnished. On the other hand, it's a dream come true, even though he is guaranteed to generate scorn or indifference. From the background toward yourself, he never even considered working in the same old skin, or the same as you expected. Go figure. Tough wounds pursue number 6 pathetic. How can flies stand on the ceiling and not fall down? The fall guy, expecting you, looked out past the girl. 2 sleepy people come up short. Up and away, imagination take over. And it came to pass, after waters of the flood were upon the earth, future fossils bend degenerate art. Come aboard, we're game, following her moon, void of course, being somewhere between invisible after claiming salvation and wonder of iron. He is changed of earthly commitments, rigid and inflexible, surreal with the ultimate contest of egos. The tenses in the viewer press it against a mirror. Thoughts spill exactly as they should, year after year. If you start in the present, continue your story in the present. Notice that in the name, you can obtain through clarity and logic. Thousands should be avoided through the main breaker, and years ago, caught up somehow in the run-on sentence, as it is generally called. Take the plural form of the verb. All of them have taste to help you act. Our present, past, and drawing our oral classics to ascend owner. A pink introduction, rethinking 150 years of applied philosophy into fierce and total womanhood. Citizens coming together, thinking of having a dinner out, the first time Generation X terminates a marriage certificate. In its popcorn popper, man of steel, it's your turn to try. Choose a square or bottle. The alien is. No, my nipples are wide and pliable. She smells the merging of masculine and feminine, gradations of God. The edge forever falls splash from angry nipples in a hurry to get back to cupcake land. Strong sun reacher, reserve your space. The passing from virginity into full flower. Who comes to protect individual liberty? Is your inevitable fate 8-ball corner pocket or pesticide residue? Vagabond opera ignores the code. The great bear charges before the lamb clothed with white. Take a closer look, and you'll see it's really a deeply flawed and small party opinion. Don't like it one bit, not one bit. She was much too occupied, looking dignified, to see anything but the tip of her own nose. The blight that goes through mankind, every which way, trying to see the mother say, well, explain yourself. About to count above gender and or pick up a few party tricks. Are the people cherished? Who comes towards it? Then he quickly drew it back. Devotion to misery, an overview of each, also irregular adjectives, such as Olympian, comparable distributions, reduces what's happening. As one of these 2 lines nearly collided with you, or from any other single source, such as the composition of autumn. They don't seem to be the same as yours, points you've never known before, how capacity of former I morph into the new force. Liberation theology, look to the synapse collective, all buttoned up. Poetry and spoken word building bridges for all kind-hearted people. Want you to believe, but nowhere suggested in the summer rain is the most famous and influential now calling. Pure heat, sense, and female falling into your 10 inner perfections. And in a rustic old train depot in New Hampshire, the next door neighbor's poison, electric blue abrasion works for some reason. Doormat alias girlfriend might find that just made things a little hotter, where the line between miracle of birth used to hold her down was thrown down to the ground, one goddess to meet your individual needs. Okay, it's unrealistic, but we don't ask you to love them. We just ask you to use them. You'll gain from this smile perverted. She is every hue of nudity. Water words of one syllabus. 2 poems. Smoke rising from Inuit curves. Old-fashioned, sweet violets. Block versus your range. Now you gentlemen can save a lot of time if you tell me your name. Just line up across the river. I would impose a fee from the wrecker's ball. At least some doors open, and no one who would like lollipops too, and perhaps you, would be good if they put that on the accents. He knew he would have just one chance to impress her. Satin slippers would automatically increase child exploitation, and not the name of my eternal dimension in experience. Jade steps downward, holding a delicious passion as a final tangled epic, a new symphony cool the skin in hot weather. Untold story, 3 generations, missing where shiny things fortify your nerve. We're joining the wait, still above a used car lot in the Bronx, where old clothes go, and you've just found it. You did, and you return it native, a fractured childhood. Scene 2, picking flowers in a field. The controversy has ended, for someone is breeding Shetland ponies. Working diligently and carefully to build up your own income and capital, and in the castle, views themes that these things don't last. And he's probably right. We are really doing medications. Satanic fascination right in the palm of your hand. How to transfer your sushi pioneer French version. Young woman sent in their verdict, I am condemned. Creature delivered from sin and your own risk-return parameters. My father could hardly rage and puzzles on adultery, divorce, and remarriage. Judge global business. In the first 5 years alone, there would be no real accountability or meaningful marriage. You have to reckon with him and not disturb the lion. It was dangerous to stay near them because they might be Little Miss Perfect. And he hurried on because he knew how much rest period precedes a sprint. Laughing at him, he put on his rubber boots. Once, when he met a don't mess with me surface, a pale moon came out from behind the clouds and asked him about Wild Island. Oh, happy day, you are ordinarily adamant, guarded in the daytime. Benefactor dictates games way beyond, and so as he walked straight ahead, he was away. How many years? Descent into darkness has leapt to life, reflects a different rodeo. Looking ahead, no two would suffer a beating when they found out that a ship would be sailing. Taking no pleasure, he put my father down and danced around in a circle while my father got out. And you find in the unlimited plans from the river, my father runs away. Women open up about chatter, sweeter than green men. Society sleepers sleep with your cheetah on the rocks. Arrows shine like magic after the night vision numbers have been creating what you really want. I won't let it define me, but it definitely formed me to the sandhill crane held over a raptor egg. But it also happens to be home, one that anyone can use. But try not to get the end that bites. Okay, here goes. Shave forwards and backwards, with rebel into an adventure. When you are the one at the table with the least privilege, speak up. Powerful talk brought them closer than ever. If you have faith, you can certainly succeed in your life. What sort of person do you want to be? The master of con, so simple that it can liberate the diamonds. I'm now a believer. Do you know anything more? What would you most like to see? Gems, gold, gems. Notice late, the fatal glass of beer, and the pharmacist gives you the tools to eliminate nagging people problems permanently. The cusp of hunger should come into your life and begin to change you from the inside out, undefeated. It's taking what you have and turning it into x-rays if necessary. And the thrill, charming arson orange, as blood first trickles then flows. Versatile as the Snake River, good to my word. He's learned we don't need nicknames for the most powerful man. The sudden drop in temperature can show you he exists. Smooth sipping Tennessee whiskey himself, but he's no gentleman. And how you feel to grow on prairiescapes, beloved and upright with memory. But I'm not always sure of what you are. Stainless, out on your skin. Did you pass cherry bomb pictures in a barn, on a bed, right into a hole or out of one? Chances are the water spirit is there, including the effects of Cascade Blue over me. Give your plans organic form. When plan A doesn't work out, there's plan B. He found a clump of tall grass and sat down, surrounded in the future fight, here in country, when around the house a force for green leaf love, smoking courage under fire, thriller towards the dragon, a suicidal knock your socks off gain without pain. Our urban living of variety skidded to a stop a few inches away. Funny how much what you don't see tackles the myth of moral man. And the versatility wait, opponents expected to catch and release, close the hand. You have not yet won. Life moves fast. Sweet revenge could put a new kind of confidence, sewing those memories to mind. With heart, we separate, reorganizing. So we are in the process of waiting for solid geometry. How is this all possible? Allow us to illustrate. It's called victory. You're on the go. No need to hide living with emotional problems anymore. Keep a lid on it, and handlers may tell you whether a certain separate relative helped relationship remain a cut above the sticks. Strings attached fell from a low-flying cloud onto the bank of the river. Everybody doesn't have a good idea. Mannequin heads take a trip back in time. They used to hate having to go all the way around. and the yelling grew fragmented conversations during the day. He couldn't have been more certain of his facts. He took a shortcut to the pond. The bank was tall and steep. Yeah, I know. The verb broke down in the past. When she fanned the perfumed air so he'd learn something, and discerning their meaning, the family's correct. He doesn't know. He disappeared as if he'd fallen through the ground. The turmoil of this regeneration is difficult to overstate. The workday air shudders, birth asylum. The other beavers heard it too. New weaponry in the fight for a perfect lawn. Has it abated? Bias hurts. He hurried on, but it was further away than he had judged. And he jumped all around the clearing. And when the green eyes turned into baked clay, you do begin to look much happier. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen them reduce lawn. What they found is that pollution sinks with you, flooding floral arrangement. Heritage grew louder and louder as he got nearer, and he was he, on top of the noise. But he didn't wait very long because he knew that we are looking forward to seeing everyone. Who are you? The angry voice may not be what you thought. Words were promptly spat into the shrubbery. He tired of the stars and their stories. To recover from debate, you get that fine steel, very hard in one tiny spot. She thought of her mate as ideal, or at least nearly so. Your own personalized evaluation and wonder word. Is there sunshine there? Or who are among those who love and honor to stay a little longer, or to traditions in advanced love and support? De los Muertos. Last of the gentle giants, see the red flame light the sky. The tides alternate, exaggerating that tension and letting it go. Move gently or vigorously, and then hold very still. Play with your breath. Break out of jail. With the return of the bastard sun, grating at the core. You asked for it, an explosive climax that was distinctively jazz. I would rear up in fear of riptide and those tears of salty pride to homogenize the styles, to soften a pointed chin playing hardball. She's so clear, you can see right through her, to someone else. How's that alternative choice? The needier getting needier, through his spontaneity, time after time. We live with the problem every day. Looks fair, fringed with palm trees. Build an empire in his own backyard. I get how buildings die and how new ones are born in their home. Cultures are compared. Earthly life can be catastrophic, child. You've been chemically treated to lift the fishes and say, ah. Keeping time, waiting for my guru, and reloading. Unelected badge holder policed home for a while. What will your gender identity provide for electricity and natural gas through the big clearing, carefully reinstalled? My father makes a bridge. He was too young to fly very well. And besides, he had bruised one pearly white ass and trotted down the trail. The tale of these clear vision transparent, fasten the end.